This surface decorating technique is called wax resist. Now I'm going to show you two different options. One is a little bit more involved, one is more basic. So as you can see, I have a bisque fired pot, and those leaves I painted on while my pot was still bone dry. This is a little bit more excessive. The goal here is that I want my underglaze painting to remain visible even after I put a regular glaze on. So again, this is up to you. This will take more planning. If you would like to do an underglaze painting, something like this, you're welcome to. If you would rather do it the simpler way, that's going to be in the video later. But what I'm doing here is I'm going in to each of my little underglazed leaves, and I'm using something called wax resist, which will be available to you. And I'm gently painting the wax resist on top of my underglaze. This only needs one layer. What you'll actually notice is if you try to do a second layer, the wax resist will resist itself. So one layer is needed. If you do not have time to plan something like this out, or if you just like the simpler look of the bare clay showing, this is option number 2. You can just take your bisque fired pot and going right in with the wax resist is similar to the water etching. You can just paint or brush your design right onto your pot. Again, please plan your design, have it be somewhat cohesive with the shape of your pot, have it looked planned out, don't have it just be something that looks slapped on just for the sake of getting your project done. And just a quick reminder, in order to do this technique successfully, you need to have a pre-prepared project that has been bisque fired. Also, one quick word of caution, do be careful as you're placing the wax resist down, because if you get it somewhere and you don't want it or you change your mind, it is actually almost impossible to wipe it off. If you want to remove it, you will have to use sandpaper and sand it completely down. And once your wax resist design is complete, it is time to glaze. So I find that this technique works best with a dipping glaze because you only need one application. You are welcome to do a brushing glaze, but it might be harder for that wax to actually resist the glaze because brushing glaze is thicker. But what should happen is once you dip it, that glaze is going to separate away from the wax, leaving everything that you waxed uncovered. So again, take a quick look at what I'm doing. If you find that the glaze remained on a piece that you did wax, what you should be able to do is just with your finger tap or poke that part of the project, and the surface tension should break and the glaze will separate away from that waxed portion. And once you wipe the bottom clean or wax the bottom so that it stays unglazed, you can put it in for the firing, and this is what your final result will look like. So those unglazed parts of the clay where I just brushed it straight on will be the color of the clay body, or if you chose to do some sort of underglaze painting, those will remain fully visible.